All right, lads. Well, I suppose we'll get into it. Let's kick it off. Welcome to the 10K a month method. Me and Cameron have been cooking this over the past while. Like, I know there's a lot still to drop in the community, and I'm sure a lot of you have gone into the training so far. So I'm Leon. This is my guy Cameron right here. Um,
Hey,
and those are like we do 10K a month, and we have basically I run my own agency. Cameron runs his own agency. I would call myself a seller. Cameron would call himself a builder, and this is the exact method that has taken us to 10K months. And we're using complete opposite skills. So we're going to show you over the next hour exactly how we did it and how you're going to do the very same, and how you're going to do it too. Now, Cameron. He's the automation wizard. I'm the sales guy. So there's going to be two sides to this whole kind of webinar, and I'm sure you've already experienced that in the community. So I suppose quick questions to kick this off for all of you. Like, which one would you say you are? Would you say you're a seller or a builder? Like, do you have experience in sales? If you love talking to people, or are you the guy that manages the headaches inside of the automations? Which one are you? Let's see what we're working with
super
here.
headache too. If you're a builder, just know it's gonna be super headaches. Get your Tylenol ready, okay?
Sell it.
Lucas. Uh-oh, Lucas, that's my main man. I see you.
Oh, I mean, got the both. Love it. Love it.
Both. Oh no, ain't no both. You got to choose. What are you gonna do? Builder, who is that? Mattis. Okay, shout out to Mattis.
Right. So here's our message. Here's the method, plain and simple. You don't need to be good at everything to hit 10K months. You need to be world class at one thing and partner with someone who's world class at the opposite. That's it. And that's what we're kind of going to be teaching in this webinar right now. Of course, there'll be more to this, but that is the method. You need to find someone who's world class at the opposite skill to you. But somehow everyone's out here trying to be a one person army. And we've spent, like myself and Cameron, he'll tell you himself, like we spent months struggling alone before we figured this out. So it's stupid in hindsight, but it has changed everything for us. Am I right, Cameron?
You are absolutely correct.
So I suppose you can see obviously what's on screen. I'm not going to be going through everything. To be honest, I cooked up these slides pretty damn quick. So I'm just going to be running through it. I want to keep it to an hour. I don't want to keep you all too long. We're trying to get as much information out here as possible, and we're going to give you some action steps at the end of the call. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. So here's what we realized, right? Look at this. I'm a world-class seller in Cameron's eyes, but ask me to build a complex automation and it may be a bit of a disaster. But Cameron here, he's an incredible builder. But put him in on a sales call, what would happen, Cameron?
I'm definitely gonna go to sweating. I'm definitely gonna go to stuttering, that's for sure. And I don't know. I'm not the best. Let's just say that.
And I was closing deals that I couldn't deliver properly. So I was over promising and under delivering, which is a very common thing in the agency space, not just in AI and automations, but you know SMMA, you know the Charlie Morgan model, the Alex Hormozy, what they're kind of preaching, where you're over promising and then it comes to actually delivering the results and it completely under delivers. So then we kind of like we had this conversation where like I had just refunded a client because I couldn't build what was promised, and I went to Cameron, and we were there with kind of he had three perfect automations maybe that no one wanted because he couldn't do the selling. So we had a conversation, and I said, mate, what if we just stopped what we're doing? What if you never had to sell again and I never had to build again? 6 weeks later, we both crossed 10K. So that's what we're going to be preaching right here in this call. This is the realization that took us from being in the headache, stuck in the day-to-day life, to actually having clarity and knowing the way forward, and also having the money in our back pockets. So let's talk about maybe why 95% of AI agencies fail. And it's not the market. It's definitely not the market. The market's absolutely mental right now. So look, builders build stuff that nobody asks for. They're perfecting solutions to problems that don't even exist. Am I right, Cameron? Are you guilty of that?
No, I most definitely am. And most startup founders and most pretty much entrepreneurs always usually try to go to a market with a solution, especially from the builder side. We try to go to the market with a solution because we're just so, we love building. So we believe that okay, this automation is so great. We're always trying to talk about the technicalities behind it and things like that. And then we try to bring it to a business owner that could literally give no crap about the automation that you built, how complex it is. They want to know what type of ROI, what are you going to bring to the table? And that just really put me in an awkward position because a lot of times I was just thinking that this automation that I built was so great, and how could not no one want it? Like, how could not no one need it? So it was just, it was frustrating.
Of course, and obviously, I've already mentioned it, but sellers overpromise and underdeliver. They can close deals, but they can't fulfill. So I've been there, right? And it's an absolute nightmare. Like I've been good at sales and even with service delivery for my marketing agency, not let alone the AI stuff. Like I was bigging it up. I had all the numbers and stuff to back it, but when it came to actually delivering the results, I usually would be falling short and I'd be scrounging for an excuse or to find a way out and say, "Oh, I'll give you this for free," or whatever, and it's an absolute nightmare. And you're literally you're going to be stuck at 2K a month because you're going to be selling, and then you probably will be refunding back to your client. So that's everyone's trying to do everything and trying to be the jack of all trades and the master of none. And the result of that is burnout at 2K a month if you're lucky realistically. And the worst part is thinking it's your fault also. Like you're not working hard enough. Like Cameron said, how can people not want this automation? How I've put so much time into this. Like, is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with the automation? But the truth is, you're just playing the game wrong. Who else has been trying to do everything? Like type me in the chat if that's you. You've been building, you've been learning sales, you've been learning the client acquisition, picking your niche, everything all at once. That's where you're going wrong. You need to focus on the one thing and not be the jack of all trades. So here's the breakthrough that me and
Hold
Cameron.
on, Leon. Hold on,
Go
Leon.
go.
Nobody said anything in the chat. Who in here has been trying to be everything all at once? We want to see me in the chat right now.
It's going to
Let's
be everyone.
go.
It has
Come
to be
on.
everyone. It
We
really
all know
does.
what we have all been here. Okay. It's a reason why. It's a number one, it's a reason why we're all on this call right now. Okay. We're definitely all trying to get to the place of financial liberation, financial prosperity. Okay. Doing it in the way that you've already been doing it clearly has not been working. We have literally found the secret sauce. This isn't something that's been taught anywhere else. Trust me. Okay. I've been in this space for a little while now. Okay. I've made a lot of mistakes. That is the reason why getting into these former communities is so powerful. Is because you can literally not have to learn from my mistakes, but just listen to everything I say. Because it's going to get you there the quickest because you don't have to do everything on your own anymore. Let's get this chat on and popping.
So that is the breakthrough. Like, stop trying to be everything. You need to partner with your opposite. It's really that simple because you double your speed because you're each focused on what you do best. You 10x your results because you're not held back by your weaknesses, and every successful business works this way. Apple had Jobs and Wozniak. One sold and one built. And that's the perfect example. Like Apple, they're the biggest company in the world. If you really understand how they set up their business, we had Jobs and Wozniak. They were one sold one built. And in the agency world, everyone thinks that they need to be both, and it's complete madness because it is not the truth. Like, the day we partnered up, everything completely changed. I could pure focus on getting deals, my client acquisition, doing cold calls, getting on the sales calls. That was my focus. And Cameron could purely focus on building world-class solutions. We had the skill set separated so that you're not trying to manage everything and become the expert in every single field, because that is not how business works. You need to partner up. So let's get into the little method right now. So, like I said, there's a lot of things here. So obviously, stop trying to be everything. We're going to cover the AIPA method, which is my method for the agency space. So you've heard of SMMA, you've heard of SWAS. I don't know what else has been out there and coined, but we're coining it the AI partner agency, because it's not a once-off build. There's a long-term relationship that you're building with clients, and the clients value that nowadays, because each and every client, they've been burnt by the marketing agencies abroad. They've spent thousands of dollars trying to fix the problems that you're going to fix for them with automated systems. So let's jump into it. Cameron, can you give us a little bit of a background? This is
Most
the
definitely, most
world-class
definitely.
builder.
Yes, yes. So, I really started out coding by pen and paper. Okay, so when it comes to like the foundation of being a software engineer or a no code automations, or what we like to call now the vibe coder, I definitely am someone that kind of came up within that era. And what a lot of people are realizing is that, to be completely honest, no one can code better than AI. So now a lot of people are now unfortunately leaning so much on AI that they believe they don't need any of the foundational skills that are absolutely essential to be a world-class builder. So this gives off a let's say this gives people like a false understanding that, okay, I can really have AI build everything and I can sell at the same time. Or I can sell and then build everything. It's not exactly what it's really planned out to be. So within this community, for sure, if you do plan on being a builder, just know that I am going to be like really developing a lot of the foundational skills, whereas that you can transform, or you can use the skills to be able to build a vast array of builds. Because once you partner with a seller, you have to, especially a world-class seller, someone like Leon, you have to understand that you're going to be getting all types of builds. All right, because Leon is going to get on that phone and he is going to call people and he is going to book calls. I cannot wait for you guys to actually see those live sales calls. He is going to sell, and then you're going to have to build, but you're going to have to know the foundational skills to be able to do that. And I definitely, I definitely will transmute those skills within the community for sure.
Course. I love that, man. Right, it's my turn. So I'm the seller, world-class seller, according to Cameron. But anyways, I love the game of turning cold calls into closed deals. The psychology, the energy, the challenge, like that's my passion. Cameron's passion is the automations and the headaches, in my opinion, where he thinks the cold calls and all that is headache in his eyes, because we have focused on our strengths and avoided the complications when it comes to the weaknesses. But like when it comes to building, like, I mean, I can connect zaps, I can understand logic. I have a bit of a computer science background, so I might have a little bit of an advantage. But when it comes to actually building these things, like it could take me forever. It usually breaks. And it's definitely not scalable, and that's why I use Claude. You've probably seen the video of me using Claude Opus 4 to create these automations and map out the structure. So then I just come in, connect up the pieces, but that's not how to do it either, because that doesn't work. You need to find someone, a person not Claude, who can build for you, understand the vision you have with your automations and that you're selling, and like that's my zone. Like, give me a phone and a list. I'll fill your calendar, but don't ask me to fulfill unless you want angry clients. Now, I just seen a question on splitting it 50-50. We're going to get into that further on there. But yes, 50-50 is a 50-50 split, because you can't claim that you're doing more by picking up the phone or by doing the automation. It's a 50-50 split. You're in this together. And if you're not in this together, you'll fail, because like, if it's immediately 60-40, there's like a little bit of a competitive nature in that business relationship, and that is not the way to do it. If you can handle both the building and the selling, how much time is on your hands is the question I would ask you. Can you be doing 100, 200 cold calls a day and building out the automations? I'll give you a simple answer, which it's no. But anyways, that's my zone. Sellers, let me see the drop me like a phone call emoji or something in there if this sounds like you, because like in the chat, 50-50 is perfect. It is not about being like the selling is not a bigger part than the automation building. You need to be in this together. It's a partnership. Like we said, it's not, you can't be taking a bigger piece of the pie for building out a certain part. So let's get into the magic formula, because we've told a little bit about ourselves, about the methodologies, but let's get into the actual formula and how you're going to scale to 10K a month. So this is a little bit more specific. I'm probably going to take up a little bit of this as this is my strategy. So here's a 4-step simple formula that books or that prints money. So the seller books the demos. I'm on the phone every morning. I'm booking 4 to 5 demos, maybe a day, maybe a week. It depends on obviously how much cold calling we're doing. The builder preps the solutions while I'm calling. So Cameron's building the demo ready solution. So he knows we've decided on or if you've done the training in the community, you've decided on your niche, you've decided your offer, you know what problems you're solving, whose problems you're solving, and then you're going to prep the demos right there. So I'm there calling, Cameron's building the demo ready solutions, and we close together. So I handle the objections, he handles the technical questions, and you act like, when there's two of you on the call, it's such a professional, you appear so professional, and it's not like, oh, we're talking over each other and we're trying to like butt in over certain parts, because my focus is the sales and the handling the objections. Cameron's is the actual automation, so he handles the technical side and everything like that. You close together, sort of a little bit like a tag team duo right there. And then the builder delivers while the seller is finding more opportunities. So he'll be building, configure the automation. If you're doing this by yourself, if like the guys who were saying they're doing both, you're going to be building or selling. You're not going to be doing the same both at the same
It's
time, early
impossible.
doors.
It's impossible. There is no way that you're going to be able to build at the same time you are selling. That is completely impossible, especially when you begin to get into custom automations. I am going to tell you right now, you are going to have a very hard time thinking that you are going to be able to continually feed your lead generation strategy, your lead generation, because that is the pipeline to every business. You have to get new leads all the time, because what's going to happen after you get done with one automation? You're going to need to be, continually building automations for people. Okay, so there's you have to understand that we're not saying that you cannot do it. You can definitely do it by yourself. And I think Leon kind of let's say, I think he may have quoted something a little piece. Leon was already at 10,000 a month before we met. I was already at 10,000 a month when we met. When we got together, we just got there a lot quicker. It took me a little while to get to 10,000 a month. It took Leon a little while to get to 10,000 a month trying to do both. But when we partnered up, it was literally within it had to have been maybe like 3 weeks. We was at 10,000 quick. It was so quick. It was crazy. And I was like, oh my goodness, it just opened my eyes. Like, bro, this is literally the way where I don't have to worry about sales. So we are not saying that you can't do it. You can definitely get to 10,000 a month. You can get to 20, 30 by yourself. But I guarantee you're gonna get burned out. You're gonna be stressed out. Um, it's just gonna be a lot of more headaches on top, especially being a builder. It's gonna be a lot more headaches dealing with sales along with the automation side, and then trying to like the deliverability, trying to explain the automations, the SOPs, the documentations that come with that. Leon has to worry about none of that. He just got to get on his phone, sell, handle the payments, stuff like that. The front end.
Exactly. So the point to take from that is builders deliver, sellers finds more. So Cameron's implementing, and I'm already finding the next client. So do you see the power that that brings? You're not tied down to building the automations for 4 hours a day when you could be cold calling. You could have your partner cold calling and the automation going at the same time. And telling you early doors, like obviously we have a team, and you can expand further once you have hit your 10K a month. But if you're still managing everything and you're struggling, you have no clear clarity, no point forward, it's because you're trying to be the jack of all trades, which does not work. And like, come back to me in 90 days and we'll see from there. But builders delivers, seller finds more, and it's a complete machine. And once you get the rhythm, the 10K months becomes inevitable, not hopeful. So now let's talk about the AIPA, the AI partner agency method. And this is what separates us from everyone else. And I see Cameron has just put it in chat right there. We're going to talk a little bit about the tools that are coming out every day and so on. So you don't just build them something and then just disappear. That's not how this works. You become their AI department, their go-to for everything AI forever. So like when the new tools come out and everything, like it starts with a quick win to prove value. Then you expand naturally because they trust you. You're after showing them how they're saving time. You're implementing a system that did save them time and made them money and think about it, like every business needs an AI strategy right now, and if they tell you they don't, they're in the wrong. Because think about it, you all know it. If you're on this call, you're smart enough to recognize that every business needs an AI strategy, but they don't have the time to figure it out. They don't have the staff to figure it out. You become their guide, their implementer, and their partner. So that is the AIPA method. You get in a quick win and you stay in the business for life. And this slide is crucial. Look at this. New AI tools are dropping every single week. Claude updates, ChatGPT drops some new MCP connections, new automation platforms, less coding, all of that, new solutions. There's stuff changing every single week, and most people see chaos. There's more to deal with, but we see an opportunity because we're the AI partner. Like last week, 3 new tools launched. We tested them all, and one's now making our clients an extra 2K a month each from an upsell. Now I'll get into the upselling and everything like that from there, but your clients are too busy running their own business to keep up with this, to keep up with the news, to keep up with all these tools that are dropping. They don't have the time, and if they do, they're probably in the top. They're the best in their industry, to be honest with you. But anyways, ones like their competitors might be using these tools, but you're their competitors' advantage. You're the competitive advantage. So like, I want to ask everyone, like, who's overwhelmed by all the new AI stuff dropping? Like, type help in the chat so that we can see why this opportunity is massive, because businesses need someone to navigate this for them. Like, they need someone to be able to, it's an AI partner. You're not going to be building one solution. That is not what we're talking about here. In order to scale to 10K a month, you need one offer, one niche, one delivery system. But then beyond that, you become the AI partner. The make gets outdated. new tools drop, and you're still their go-to guy because you're the tech guy. And that's the difference in this AI partner agency method. It's not AMA or once-off bills, and then you burn out your client, and then in 2 months down the line, new models drop, new tools drop, and the client knows and that their stuff's outdated. So this is where we're using a nice bit of leverage to become the go-to AI guy for life. So let me break down. Cameron, do you have any input on that before I go jumping into the breakdown?
Oh no, that not at all. Leon, you did absolutely phenomenal right there.
Of
Let's
course,
go.
right. So let's get the 5 pillars out of the way to your 10K months. If you master these, success is inevitable. So number one is one niche. You must own it completely. And it's not necessarily one niche, it's almost one person. Your ICP, who you're targeting, who they are, what's their business, what's the problems they solve. You can even go as deep as to what they're doing in their daily life. The more you know about that person, the easier everything else becomes. And number two is one offer, and you must make it irresistible. And obviously we're dropping training on all of that in the community. So if you haven't done that, you know to go back in there and get that done. And then three is one acquisition system, because if you're trying to spread yourself thin across multiple automations or multiple systems when it comes to client acquisition, you're going to burn yourself out. And then you obviously, if you've done the training, you know that I'm preaching cold calls, because if you're a beginner, if you're new at sales, even if you're new at automations, you're taking your solution directly to the market. On the phone call, you're getting the feedback. Instead of blasting out 1,000 cold emails, maybe getting a 2% positive response rate and just pissing everyone off that you've emailed, you pick up the phone, you're asking for their time, you're taking the solution straight to them. Do you have this problem? If they tell you no, and you do 100 of these calls and it's all no, 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 you know there's something wrong with your offer. You can make those tweaks instantly rather than waiting for your cold email automation to finish processing. So one acquisition system, master it. And four is one delivery system. So early on, when you're scaling to 10K a month, you want to have one core delivery system. So this is your main offer. This is the system that you know can get X results for clients, whether that's 30 more leads a month, whether that's 10 more hours back in their hands every week. You have that one system and that becomes your core offer. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't build custom automations and we don't build, but that comes later. You need to get the quick win out of the way. Make them money, save them time, and now you're the AI guy. You can sell to them over and over again because you have leverage. The key word that everyone likes to throw out, leverage. But this is how you build real leverage. And then we have one upsell path, and you bank on that. Now, I know there's a lot of questions coming into the group. I'm going to have Cameron's doing replying for me in the chat, which I love, but we're going to have a little Q&A at the end of this, and I'll jump in to answer some of your questions, but I'm trying to get everything done in an hour. I don't want to hold you up. I'm already a little bit behind, so let's keep moving. So which pillar do you need most? Drop the number in the chat, 1 to 5. Whereabouts are you stuck at the moment? Just so we can get a feel for whereabouts you all are at.
Where are you? Let's go. We want to see it in the chat. I'm in the chat heavy. Nothing's getting around me in the chat. I see everything. Let's go. Starting out. Okay.
Cameron,
Offer.
that's me.
Okay. Offer. Okay.
Okay.
Acquisition system. Okay, Jordan. You seem to
Okay.
be a little bit. Who is this number? Who is this number? This 249-695. Are you are you a bot, bro? Who
That's an
is this?
AI,
Come
man.
on, man. Come on, man. We need to know who you are, man.
Lots of ones. There's a lot of ones. I'm seeing a lot of a niche selection. Hey, bot in the chat for 24
Why in
viewers,
the
man. Hey,
yo?
whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a temporary,
Oh,
man. Hey, it may be just my AI clone, man, in here. I'm not gonna lie.
oh, yo, Vincent, hella funny,
Bot in the
bro.
chat for 24 viewers. We love it. I love it. Vincent, you need to chill out, man. All I hear is negativity right now.
Vincent funny. Vincent
I
be
respect
coming
Vincent. I know
at you.
Vincent's in the community. He knows the lemon man. That's it. I keep seeing that. So we
That's
love it.
good
We
to
love
know.
it.
I
So
like
lots of
Vincent, bro.
ones. Niche selection and offer creation is kind of what I'm seeing.
Yep.
So let's fix that, right? I'm going to go through the 5 pillars right now. So when it comes to your pillar one, now I'm not sure what happened with my image right here, but anyways, pick one type of business and own it. Stop trying to help everyone. It makes outreach so much easier. It makes everything so much easier because you know exactly who you're helping and what they need help with, and also how you're going to help them. Local services, e-commerce, professional services, SaaS, it does not matter. Pick one. And if you're still struggling to pick one, I showed you in the 10K challenge how to pick a niche in 10 minutes. And that is the amount of thought you should give this. Base it on your experience, your background, plug in my ChatGPT prompts, get the suggestions, and just pick one, because don't overcomplicate this. It really does not need to be complicated, your niche selection. If it does come, like, it's all testing through data. Pick one niche, blast out the outreach, and if it comes that you don't, that's not working out for you, change early. But like, if you're trying to help everyone, you're going to have to learn a lot of, like, every industry has their own kind of jargon and their own way of speaking. Like, you'll figure that out, that if you're trying to help everyone, you'd have to learn how to speak like to every business, and it's not that easy. It really isn't that easy. You'll have to be a master at sales, and I don't think anyone is there yet. Alex Hormozy, he ain't even there. He can't sell to everyone. He has one niche. It's the same. Anyone is telling you this because it is true. You need to help one people because you can relate to them better. You know their problems. You know them. You know how to solve it.
Yes, that's big. That's very, very big right there. And it's what I like to really tell people a lot is that if multiple people are telling you the same thing and these people are where you want to be, it makes no sense to not listen. At least take heed to it. Okay. So one of the biggest things where Mosey says that I always like kind of keep at the forefront of my mind is I never listen to those that are around me because this isn't even where I want to be. I always listen to those that are where I want to be or where I'm going. So
And
if
that,
multiple people are telling you, hey, just pick
no,
one
go
niche, pick one service, pick one and move forward from there, it's a reason why. Go
100.
ahead, Leon.
And that's a massive one for all the Irish in here, because you'll get the, like, not even just Irish, but I know from my own experience that people tell you whatever. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself here, but people will tell you that you can take your parents, your brothers, you can take that knowledge, but listen to what's in your mind, listen to the intuition. You know yourself what you need to do. And I seen a question down here from Vincent, like, what niche did you pick, Leon? So I was actually running a marketing agency in the solar space, and I was going all in on solar. I was even doing door-to-door sales with solar last year, and I was big on solar, but I wasn't relatable to these business owners. I had no, like, to be honest, my dad's an electrician. That was about as far as in terms of relation and relatability. And I was a little bit lost in the solar space. Now I help marketing agencies because I ran a marketing agency. I understand the pain. I understand who the owner is, what he does in his daily life, and I help marketing agencies. So that's my niche right now. If there's any marketing agencies in here doing 5K a month, hit me up. But anyways, that's my niche. I picked solar originally to start, and it wasn't working for me. I made money. I was at 10K a month, and it was not scalable because I didn't know these guys, and I was finding it struggling. I was always struggling until I took my background, and then I made that into my niche, and I knew the people, I knew the problem, and I could present the solution. And when you know one niche deeply, everything becomes easier. You speak their language, you know their pain, and you can sell it in your sleep. So that's the niche out of the way. Let's get into the offer. So your offer needs to be a no-brainer, and that's the most obvious thing we'll say on this call. You need to have a no-brainer offer. Hold up. Okay, I'm glitching out here. There we go. So when it comes to offer, you need it to be a no-brainer. So there's a little bit of formula behind this. So for example, I'll handle your biggest pain in 7 days. And then you say how much it's going to cost, the time frame, and what it takes to deliver it. But you do not want to overcomplicate things with the specifics, like it needs to be focused on the outcome and not the tech and not the methodology. So not that you build CRM systems, not that you can help them create make scenarios. Like no business owner wakes up in the morning and say, damn, I need someone to build me a make automation or a new AI agent. That's not what's in their mind. They need someone who will get them more money, make their life easier, an actual clear outcome from that. And that's what keeps them up at night. So notice how we're not saying, I'll build you an automation. We're solving expensive problems. And it has to be very simple, it has to be clear, and it has to be low risk. And if you don't know what your offer is, go back into the training. I can't do a full offer demonstration and tell you how to build your offer. Go into the community and you'll have it all in there. And they're quick videos in the community as well. It must be simple, clear, and low risk. So let me see some of your offers. I've already done a little bit of reviewing people's offers, but just give me your elevator pitch and like as quick as possible down below. What's your quick win offer? Drop it in the chat. What problem costs your niche money that you can solve fast? And if you don't know it, you know that after this video, you must go and study the offer creation module. So now I'm racing here because I'm running a little bit out of time. So I'm just going to be skipping through these slides. I will cover some questions here at the end, but we all don't have all day. So let's hear the one acquisition system. And this is the only thing you'll need to close clients. Forget spamming cold emails, forget spamming LinkedIn requests and so on. That is completely burnt out right now. So this is my world, right? One system perfected. For me, it's cold calling, and for everyone else, when you're starting out, it should be cold calling too. 100 cold calls is about 10 conversations, depending on your how good your leads are and you're not getting scraping random information off the internet. That will land into maybe 5 demos, and out of that 5 demos, with this strategy, you're looking at 2 to 3 paying clients every single week, like clockwork. And that's what should be your main focus. For the sellers, this is where you're going to make the money, is on cold calls, not LinkedIn, not ads, not emails, just pure phone game, picking up the phone and learning how to get from A to Z. And while I'm calling, Cameron is building. It's the most perfect partnership that you could ever imagine. We both wake up knowing what we need to do in the day, and we go to sleep with our pockets full. And that is the way I know all of you want to be. And the key is focus, right? Because you can go and you can spam the DMs and you can spam the SMSs, but when you're focused on one acquisition system, you can keep an eye on the data, you know your numbers, you know how much calls it takes to get an appointment, and you can just rinse and repeat every day. And I'm telling you, it is the quickest way to understand sales. Cold calls makes the discovery call so much easier because you know the objections, you know all of that already, rather than waiting back in email. So the key is focus, and that's the acquisition system. And I'm racing here, but we're going to get into the delivery system. So this is kind of I'm going to let Cameron jump in here a little bit, but you need to set up a core system. So your main offer, it must be a productized offer, a productized outcome. So like, you're getting people X amount of leads per week, you're making them 10 grand in 30 days. You have to have a productized outcome as your main core offer. That doesn't mean you don't do all the automations in the background and that you can sell them as much automations as they need. It means you have one scalable delivery mechanism. Like, And on that, you can deliver maybe 2 to 3 projects a week because it's all systemized. And while Cameron's building, like I'm already planting the seeds for the next upsell. So we'll be upselling clients, the clients seeing results, getting excited about what else is possible because no business needs one automation. They want their whole business automated. So pick one delivery system. I'm going to let Cameron jump in maybe to talk about productizing builds. And we keep this quick because we're running out of time, man.
Running out of time. I see. Yeah, I definitely see you running out of time. Okay, so quickly, about productizing services. This is really what kind of separated me from the pack of most builders in the AI agency space. So you want to make sure that the reason why you want to productize you guys is because it is it is let me figure out how to say this. When you productize your service, it allows you to kind of already know exactly what to deliver and how to deliver it. Okay, so it's a lot easier when someone comes in. Let's say that you're a Subway guy, and it's a lot easier for someone to come in and ask for a sub that you already have all the ingredients to than for someone to come in and get a custom sub every time. Okay, because then you're just behind the counter like I don't really know what this person wants. But if they already know what you have, they know what you're selling and how much it costs, then it's a lot easier for you to just hand it to them over the counter instead of having, like just a custom automation every time. I hope that made sense, you guys. I'm a little hungry. That's why I
That was
went
a
with the
good
Subway
analogy.
thing. That's why I went with the
You're
Subway.
making me
I'm
hungry,
hungry, you
man.
guys. All right.
Might hit up Subway after this. But anyways, yeah, so that was a very good analogy from Cameron, and that's the best way to put it. You need to productize your build so people know what they're getting into. Because this custom shit early on, like it's a headache. It's a complete headache trying to design a custom when you don't know the business, you don't know their processes, you have to figure all that shit out before even getting your paycheck. Whereas it's one delivery mechanism, one system, it's so scalable, you get the money, and then later on we'll worry about the custom automation. So that's what I'm going to get into next, which is the next pillar, and it's the AI partner upsell. So when it comes, this is where the real money is, right? So obviously we have the initial build, we have that right there. And if anyone's thinking about price and structure, I'm just going to throw this in. When it comes to that initial build, what you want to do is like you want to split up the payments. So we want upfront payments, right? Because that is the game. We do want upfront payments, but you don't want it to be a massive burnout right immediately and just turn away every client. And it also, the more appointments you're booking, the easier it is to charge upfront fees. Because if you had 5 appointments a day, like you're able to charge an upfront fee because you're not relying on that one client to feed to keep you fed, keep the subways coming in. But yeah, so that's where you kind of want is an upfront payment, maybe 50% of the total cost, and then on the delivery of a fully functioning working system, you charge the final payment, and that would all be disclosed in maybe a legally bound contract so that you're not burnt, and obviously you have control over the automation and everything like that. So the real money is, so let's have a look at these numbers, right? Because this is a couple of examples of what that kind of works out to be, because your retainer will start small and it will grow and grow over time, and you'll make more. As you make your clients more money and save them more time, your pockets get bigger, the paychecks get bigger, and life gets easier. So this is where it happens, right? So month one, you might have a 1,500 euro build and a 500 euro retainer for maintenance, for covering the API costs, whatever. You bundle on a retainer right there. Month two, you'd have an 800 euro upsell. So like you'll know their processes, you'll know where the biggest pain is. You can ask them like, right, well, we sorted that. What's your biggest problem right now? We know, we can do it. We're the AI guys. We're going to be here for life with you. We're the AI partner. Anytime you have a problem, we'll solve it. So you have that upsell on the call and you charge that retainer. And I'm not going to go through all of the numbers, but that's like within 4 months, your clients can go from paying you maybe 1,500 euros up front and 500 euro a month to like 6.5, 8, 7, 8 grand in just 4 months, and it scales rapidly because like some clients will need more automation, some clients will need less, but you will already know their business, and you'll have them made them money, so you're in a position of leverage. And once they see what's possible with AI, they want more. It's as simple as that. No one, you can't tell me otherwise. Once they see the power, they will, like, I get phone calls all day, like, what's the next move? That's what I'm doing right now. Is I'm going to get into a little bit of a strategy right here that you can use to get this going. So let's say you become their AI partner, their trusted advisor, and they won't leave because you're essentially their key to growth. You're essential in their business. You've made them money, you're removing bottlenecks. They know that if they stick with you, shit is going to be good. So yeah, that's where it is, and that's kind of the kind of AI partner upsell. It's a compounding effect. So like here's a little real client journey. So month one, we built a 1,500 euro lead capture system that saved them maybe 10 hours a week, and they're absolutely amazed. Month two is, can you handle our reviews tool, like to boost? This is an example, right? We had the reviews. They came to us and said, we are struggling to get reviews. Can you automate that for us? And then boom, there's an extra 800 euro right there on the spot. We might increase the retainer slightly because we're providing more value. And then what about appointment reminders? We add the extra 600 euro upsell and we increase the retainer. And then month four, they're like, fuck it, just handle all of our AI stuff, and that's where we charge for a specific AI partner plan of your 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 euro a month retainers just for being the AI guy, because they fucking need you and they see that they need you, and that's your leverage right there. And this actually, like, they end up selling themselves on more. Once you do the initial selling, it becomes easy. They actually sell themselves because they figure out their problem, come to you, we present the solution, and we get paid. So that's what happens, and this happens with every single client. One win leads to another in this space. They cannot unsee the possibilities. Once you have given them, you've shown them the possibilities, they feel the possibilities, they can't unsee that. So that's this, and who has had like maybe the people who are doing this and building in here at the moment, like who has had a client ask for more after the first project? So type more if you've experienced this, because I know it's like if you're in this space, they will come to you looking for more ways to automate, more ways to improve after the initial build. But that's why we have the one core offer, because if you try to sell them everything at the start, one, it's a headache. Two, you don't get paid as much. Three, it's very costly on your end. So I'm racing through this. Do you, Cameron, any input?
Nah, definitely not. I'm trying to
Good,
get to
good.
these questions.
Of
Who
course.
has questions? Let's go.
A little bit of money math, right? So let's talk realistic numbers for beginners. So initial bills, you're talking about 700 euro to 2,000 euros. And like I said, 50% upfront always, or you can split it in three. Like if it is a pretty big project, it depends on what you're building. You might split it in three, like 33 over three, maybe day one, day five, day 10, that kind of split where you're charging payments and so on. And then for your monthly retainers, you're talking about maybe 300 to 1,000 euros starting out recurring. And the strategic upsells, you're talking about 500 euros to 1,500 euros. So that's kind of where that's the initial, as a beginner, that's the money math right now. So like, I don't know what happened to this. It was meant to have more of a, it's all the same numbers. But anyways, you get the point. 5 active clients at 700 euros average. That's 3,500 euro recurring, plus 2 to 3 new builds monthly. That's 3,000, 4,500 euros. That's 6,500 euros to 8,000 euros per month, very realistically, with just 5 active clients. And by month 4 or 5, you will easily be doing 10K. And like I said, if you can partner with the builder and get yourself on the sales calls or vice versa, this is it'll compound a whole lot quicker. Yeah, I know what I mean. I know the rows are the same. I just called that out. Not sure what happened there. But yeah, but that's a little example as a beginner. Like this, it was meant to increase at scale. But that shows you a little bit on how much you should be charging and where the upsell comes in. And that's why you can make 10K a month very easily about this. And it's not about huge tickets. It's about volume and compounding. We don't want to burn our clients out. We're the guys who are thinking long term. We're the partners here. And then that's why we have the strategic upsells and the monthly retainer. So let's say, right, so little builder and seller in action. Now I didn't know what to put on here, but basically I wanted to tell a quick story here, right? So this is a real example from last week. It was actually something someone reached out to me from my content, right? And I booked a plumber in on Tuesday, and Cameron had the solution ready. It was a custom build. Wednesday, we jumped on, we did the demo together, and we closed 1,500 euros, 750 euros upfront, hit our account on Thursday. Cameron built it Friday, delivered by Monday, balance paid, and plus the monthly recurring revenue. And he has already come to me saying, what's next? I have a problem with lead gen. So that's kind of what we're talking about here. So that's 5 hours maybe total combined out of our lives to make that much money. The revenue was maybe, I think it's about 1,500 euros, but we have that ongoing monthly cost. And we split everything 50-50, of course. We each made 750 plus 250 monthly. And if you do that twice a week, you're laughing. And that's why you need the partner, because you can focus on the selling, you can get the build done very quickly. Now, I was going to tell a whole load of a story, but I'm literally running out of time. It's nearly been an hour already, and we haven't even gotten into the question. So how do you find your opposite, right? First, be honest about what you are, who you are. No ego in here. You need to be honest with yourself. And then you look for someone who's strong where you're weak. So you start with one small project together. You see if there's a vibe. Set clear expectations, how you'll split the revenue, who does what, and how you'll communicate. And you want to find people who are a similar background, similar interests, similar age, whatever it might be, even though me and Cameron, that is not a piece in our puzzle. To be honest, it's not that complicated. You will find someone in here who is a good fit to you. And here's the key. Builders, stop undervaluing yourselves, and sellers, stop over-promising, because together you're unstoppable. Honestly. And who has someone in mind already? If you guys already know, Cameron might be the builder that you all know, but if you have someone in mind, type them if they're in the community, and make sure you go out there and chase this. So that is your match. Now I'm going to cover a little bit more about this in the next slide. So the strategy session secret, I may have completely underestimated how long this is actually going to take, but here's gold, right? Monthly strategy sessions with every client. So that's where you're going to do the upselling. I've seen the questions like, how the hell are you going to do this? So there'll be 30-minute calls where you review what's working and spot new opportunities. And like, that's kind of where this is so powerful, because you can sit down with them, you show them what has worked to date and what they need to do going forward. And this is so easy. So you will schedule this in at for every time a month. You will hop on with 30 minutes for them, and it's the most easiest upselling opportunity you could have ever imagined. So right, this is obviously the evolution of AI. We already covered this, but that's kind of where this is heading. So there's a little bit of your realistic path to 10K. You land 3 clients, that's about 4,500 euro revenue plus 1,500 recurring. By month 3, you've earned 10,500 plus 3.5 monthly recurring, depending on what you're charging on the retainers. Month 4 and 5, you're consistently at 10K. Now that is reality if you're doing this maybe alone, but here is where the juicy bit comes in. So if you've stuck on this call, I'm not sure, maybe a lot of people have dropped off because I've been waffling for quite a while. But this is something that me and Cameron have been working on for quite some time. And this is maybe what we are leading into here because we've got something special launching soon. And I can't reveal everything yet. But this will be for the serious ones, potentially the ones that are on this call, because obviously we have 400, 500, we have a growing community of free members, and it's just we can't help everyone. To be truly honest, we couldn't help everyone one on one with that extra support. We can't answer everyone's questions. To be honest, I thought I could, but this shit kicked off way too fast. So it's a little bit out of control. But what we're going to be providing here is weekly implementation calls, weekly live trainings. We're going to be breaking down outbound sales training. Cameron will be hopping on for tech support calls. You'll have live tech support. You can bounce questions, have these kind of Zoom calls from us on a weekly basis. It's going to be crazy. We're going to be having the exact partner matching system. This is something you will not find in any other community out there. No other guys are teaching this method. Have you heard this before, guys? With the builder seller strategy, I know the answer. It's no. So that's what we're going to be teaching here. And that's what we're going to be doing is actually, let's say, for example, you tell us about you. We will go ahead and find your match for you. That's what we're going to be offering in this community. Not to mention special guest experts. I've been making a few phone calls, getting a couple of guys on board who are willing to teach you their insights. Like there's dudes, I know I won't get into it, right? But there's dudes that are way ahead of me and Cameron doing 100K, 500K months in the very same space. And we're going to be getting them in to the community right here. I even know a guy who's 17 doing 100K a month. But anyways, that gives you a little bit of a kick up the arse for all of you. If you can hear a 17-year-old is making more than the average salary in a month. Crazy. But anyways, weekly implementation calls, everything you need to actually implement this method. So implementation rather than just theory is what we're going to be offering in here. And if you're serious about this, you'll want to be a part of what's coming. Builders and sellers, get ready because this is going to change everything. Now, that's all I'm going to say for now. Cameron, do you want to say anything on that before we move on and get into the question and answers, or will we just let
I'm
them
ready
off?
for the questions, Leon. I'm ready for the
Okay.
questions. We got a lot of questions. They want to know what's going on, and I'm ready to let them know.
Okay, well, I know you've all had questions maybe throughout this Zoom call, but right now I'm looking at the chat. Talk to me about the builder seller dynamics, partners, the AIPA implementation. What's the biggest thing on your mind right now? Now, keep it maybe like ask good questions. Don't tell me how you're using AI. Like one thing I've said this before, if you know the training, if you ask broad questions, you'll get broad answers. So let's see here. Lucas was also wondering what's the best way to actually deliver the automation. If you're integrating with their accounts and they are unsure about sharing logins or when actually hosting the automation, do you run them on your accounts or theirs? So it does depend. I'm going to let Cameron answer this one. It depends on the system.
Okay, so now as you guys just seen what Leon did, he immediately realized this question was a builder question. Leon knows exactly what his role is in this partnership. And that's what has to happen. And that is what we're going to be really harping on in that community in which we're speaking about. Shh, don't tell everybody about the community. It's not for everybody.
Only
So
24 you in here
when
know. So yeah, go ahead,
so
Cam.
when you are delivering the automation, it literally depends on the sale. So if they want full ownership of the automation, then you build it on all of their software. If your seller has possibly constructed the deal where they're just kind of paying a monthly recurring to use the software, then you build it on your environment. So that's mostly how it's either going to be one or the other. And that's mostly how you deliver the automations.
Of course. It does depend on the system. Like It depends on how complex, but once you have a productized offer, you know yourself what kind of needs to happen. If you do it once, you'll be like, oh shit, right. So I connected this up, but I really should have got him to create his own make account and set that up for me or whatever. You'll understand that. And obviously, if you need help, Cameron is the man. So I see. Thank you, Vincent, for that, man. I hope you got some points taken away from this. And obviously, this whole thing is going to be in the free community. We're going to be teaching you how to make your first 10K, but there's a lot more coming your way. So let's go. What I see Jordan asking the question, how do you get the Go High level for £7? Yeah, so the Go High level, I think you're talking about getting a phone number. The phone numbers are like, it depends on where you're going. It's like $1 to $7, I think is the most I've ever seen. $6.50 for a phone number on Go High Level. So that's actually the phone number. Now you do need Go High Level for a lot of things in your business. Like Go High Level is the back end for everything. Like it cuts out so many other subscriptions. Like you can have all these other tools like Calendly, Slack, all of that. But one subscription with Go High Level is literally all you need. You can host websites, you can communicate with clients, you have calendars, automated follow-ups, cold call infrastructure, pipelines, new features dropping every week. Like the shit that you get for the Go High Level with Go High Level is crazy. They're dropping new AI tools every week. You can literally use Go High Level's systems as one of your core offers because the amount of stuff that they have in there is crazy, and there's new stuff coming out every single week. So Jordan, there is that cost of having Go High Level. Now we do have you can give you a free 30-day trial, and in those 30 days, make as much fucking cold calls as you can, and you will pay for that subscription very fucking easily and very quick. And
Very
like,
easy.
yeah,
Very easy.
it's €97 a month starting out. Like you do have to have some sort of risk here. You're risking your time, a little bit of money. Like there's guys out here that are preaching like crazy tech stacks where it's like 400, €500 a month starting out, and it's just so unnecessary. Go High Level, Loom, Google Sheets, and you're away with it. And obviously make.com is the implementation side of things. I obviously don't worry about that, but we let that happen. Yeah, so that's the current that is the setup when it comes to the callings. Now, how do you price the automation for a certain project so you aren't supercharging the client? So you have obviously your core system. You've set a price point, so it depends. Like there is, if you want to understand exactly how you price systems in this space, you need to understand Alex Hormozy's value equation. So it's like there's a lot of things that goes into a price. It's not like some people think like €2,000 a month is a crazy price for an automation. But if it's replacing a staff member that costs 80 grand a year, it's like, well, is that automation now worth 80 grand? Is it worth double that because it does it better than a human? It does it with no effort, no input from the team. That's the kind of point where you have to use your intuition to understand, obviously, one, what is the result that they're getting out of it? So if you're able to make them 10K within 10 days, you can charge probably 10K for that system because they'll have it. What's the return that they're going to get from that? So like you're asking me, how do you price a system? It's different, one, for every automation, and two, for every business. Obviously, your core system needs to be, this is this for X amount. But when you're coming to the retention or the upselling and the more systems and the custom builds, that is for you to decipher. Now, you can obviously have some sort of framework depending on what it takes for you to build and so on. But study Alex Hormozy's value equation and it will make pricing very, very easier. Also, you said in the same call about focusing more in UK and other places in the world. Do you recommend me going straight to them instead of focusing in Ireland? Now, it does depend on the niche. It depends on also a lot of things. Like if you're comfortable speaking with Irish businesses and like a couple of guys maybe that are local to you, you can start there. Start in the local area, but think about in terms of a business perspective. Like I know I mentioned this, like the biggest businesses in Ireland, we are so geographically limited. We have 4, 5, 6 million, who knows nowadays how many people are in there. But that's kind of where you have to see that these Canadian companies that are even like the biggest companies in Ireland are small on a global scale. So the USA, Canadian companies are absolutely massive. They have more money, more problems, and they're a lot more open to technology rather than Irish businesses. We're still learning how to, like a lot of the Irish guys I talk to are still in the diary taking their bookings, like not, they don't even have an online calendar yet. So how are you meant to automate? You're going to change their whole life by bringing in, like they have to rechange their whole mindset. Whereas it's a lot easier to sell to a Canadian, a USA company who are big on systems, big on technology, and they're looking for solutions already, where it's a little bit tougher in Ireland. Now, obviously, it is a mixed bag, but that is just the general consensus, in my opinion, is that Irish were behind in that sense. Definitely. And the thoughts about NAN. So Cameron has just answered this one here. Like, if you're starting out, don't even worry about N8N. You're just going to get lost in the complexities. Realistically, make.com is where you need to put everything into, put your focus into. It's a lot more easy, it's more visual. Even when you're actually demoing it to clients, it's a lot easier because it looks better, and it's not this crazy workflow that you have to go through. But Cameron can maybe jump in and answer that one for me.
So yes, most definitely. When I say that make.com is much more business friendly, is because you have to understand these business owners, the decision makers. This is for my builders. They do not care about the technicality or the complexity of your automation. They do not care. The biggest thing you have to do is you have to be able to explain this automation to them within the SOP as well as the documentation. And when you get into N8N is much more developer friendly. Okay, so it is the way in which like the UI is created is kind of difficult for business owners to understand the workflow. And if they cannot understand the workflow, you're not going to get them to spend any money with you, especially over a extended period of time. You might be able to sell them one automation, but they're really not going to be satisfied because they're not going to want to continue having to deal with N8N. They're just going to go with somebody with Make because it's a lot more streamlined to explain a Make automation than it is with N8N. And the biggest thing, like I said, another caveat to this is you want to satisfy the decision maker so you can continue selling them automations. You're not going to be able to continue selling them N8N automations because most business owners are not tech friendly.
There you go. That's a great way to put it. So that's, I suppose, a little bit. Like, I'm just going to answer a couple of quick questions, but I'm not going to hold you all night, lads. And to be honest, if you're big into soccer, we have the final up tonight, so I need to get up and get ready for that. But anyways, let's kind of let's think of I see a couple of questions here about like the Irish space, and Liam couldn't have said it better. Should I move away from Irish businesses? It seems like most Irish businesses couldn't afford more than 400, 500 euros per month. Well, there you go. That's the problem. Like, and we see that as a big problem. Like, and I was in the very same. For my marketing agency, I was only working with Irish businesses. I had the market size for solar companies in Ireland, just to give you a reference, is less than 500. So 1 week is all it took me to do cold calls. And it was like, it's a nightmare because in Ireland, like we don't have the money. We're not open to a lot of this. Like, obviously there are certain niches who are more open to technology and would be better fit, but if you're talking like home services, trades, those guys are so outdated when it comes to technology. Like I said, they're still using pen and paper, and they're so content with the status quo over here for some reason. It's maybe something culturally rooted, but I would recommend going abroad because one, it's easier to get leads. Two, as an Irishman, you've seen the cold calling video, the accent kills all over the world. And three, you have that there a lot of businesses abroad, especially in Canada. I'm going to say this one. Their businesses are very systemized. They follow things in a systemized way, and that's very easy for us automators once they have once they have systems in place. And I see a question here. Do you recommend watching Hormozy? 100%. And I don't recommend taking everything Hormozy says as being, I don't recommend taking even what I say, what any of these guru guys taking. Don't take exactly what they say. You need to use your own intuition because it's all noise. Like there's so much people out there, so much information, but you know yourself what you need to do, and you need to listen to what's going on in your brain. We're giving you a method that's worked for us. That is not to say that there isn't a lot of methods out there, but like this is what works for us, and this is what is working at the moment. And also, I would recommend Hormozy, especially when it comes to sales, offer creation, and even business, as a kind of the business perspective of things. Like he's big on things like operational drag and so on. So like there's probably three guys I'd recommend for you to watch beside us two wizards right here, right? So it's probably Alex Hormozy, Charlie Morgan, and Nick Sarayev. So those, like, if you can watch those three guys right now, you'll be able to do all of this. Like you'll understand the business, you'll understand the psychology, the sales, and then Nick is great with actually explaining the automations and doing building. And obviously Cameron Williams, if you look him up on YouTube, he's the real guy when it comes to building things. So I would focus on those four guys and stop getting information overload. So yeah, I have a lot of new messages, guys, but we're going to have to jump off very soon. If you have any questions that I haven't answered on this call, make sure to actually reach out to me on school, because I don't manage my social medias, by the way. So if you've been talking to me on TikTok or Instagram in the past like week and a half, it was me back when I had time for that, but it blew off too quick. So that is not me. You'll find me in school. So that is the best place to reach me, guys, is in school. So I think that's a lot of the questions answered, in terms of what we can kind of see in here. Is it really necessary to have SOP and documentation? 100%, because it makes it easier to scale, number one, and to two, also when you need to go building a team, it's all right there. You can, instead of passing over the mess to someone else, you have a structured, systemized process that you can go, bam, there, this is what we do and this is how we do it. And it's the same for your clients. They need to understand, it can't be, they like the otherwise you're going to be doing Q&As like this all the time with your clients. They won't understand how they're going to get from A to Z, how it all works, and what their kind of piece is in it. So SOP and documentation is your number one thing for scaling. And you have to do that for every system that you build, as Cameron has said right there. So yeah, that is everything, guys. Let's land this plane, because here's the truth, right? The only difference between 0 and 10K is taking action. You need to stop trying to be everything, find your opposite, own your zone, and scale to 10K a month and eat more lemons, as this guy right here has said. So yeah, I think that's everything, guys. Cameron, anything you want to say before we jump off here? There'll be lots
No, not
more
at all.
coming
I
soon,
really
guys.
appreciate you guys. I definitely really appreciate you guys being here, man. We started at 25, now we got 18. I want to let you guys know that it is not for everyone. Okay? This space, entrepreneurship in general, is not for everyone. When I say eat more lemons, I literally mean that, because a lot of times while growing and scaling, I swear it felt like I was eating a lemon with the peel still attached. That's how I felt. Like, damn, this shit is hard. This shit is hard, but it's rewarding. And you have to understand that everything in life that is worth something is going to be extremely hard and uncomfortable. That's kind of what makes it even more hard, or that's where a lot of the difficulty comes from. Is just uncomfortable. It's something you don't want to do. I get up at 4:30 a.m. every morning. I haven't missed a morning in I want to say about 7 months now. 4:30 every morning. I work out because health is very important on this journey. Health is very important. Okay. So, yes, we teach a lot about technicalities. We teach a lot about sales. We teach a lot about the AI agency model. But a lot of things that are coming within this community have to deal with the life of an entrepreneur, which encompasses a lot more than just the business side. You have to be right on the personal side. It's important because that's why a lot of people try to do everything. Is because they really don't even know who they are. And that's what you're getting a lot of within this community, not just that business. You're getting a lot more. And that is kind of like why when I see these numbers, when I see the numbers that we have within these type of chats, it's just like these are gonna be probably the ones that make it. Because everyone's not gonna make it. If it was so easy, everybody would be doing it. Literally, everybody would be doing it. But it's not. And those that are willing to put in the work, I'm talking about be a real high performer because that's what's necessary to be able to make this work. You have to be a high performer. I don't even let's say accept those that aren't high performing around me because I don't even need that type of energy around me because I need to make sure that we're on the same path to greatness. You have to really want this. If you don't really want this, you think this shit finna be a cupcake, you might as well leave right now because it's not gonna be a cupcake. It's not gonna be easy.
There you go.
Let's go. Eat more lemons. Let's go.
I couldn't have said it better myself, man. Just to summarize what Cameron said, like your business is only a reflection of you. Your business is a reflection of you. So take that going forward. Yeah, man, this guy is a motivational speaker. I'm telling you, you'll hear a lot more from us on the mindset side of things because there's one thing we all have in common in this right now, in this Zoom call, in this school community, maybe besides Mr. 2 and 4 9695, we all have one thing in common. We're all human. We've all been through the shit. We've all been through the struggle, and we're all looking to build something real for ourselves. And that's why this community is so important for me, so important for Cameron, so important for all of you, because we're in this shit together, man. We're in this shit together, and that's kind of what we're pushing for heavily. There's going to be a lot on mindset and all that coming soon. But right now, you need to figure out who you are. Are you the builder? One more time on this. Are you the builder or are you the seller? That's one takeaway from this call. Maybe type it in the chat one more time. Are you the
Type it
builder
in a chat.
or are you the
Who are
seller?
you? Are you a builder or are you a seller? Type it in the chat. Let's see it.
And
I want to
now,
know who's a builder, who's a seller, who's still here. Anybody? Hello, hello, hello. Anybody here? We got a lot of sellers here.
yeah, I like it.
Valentine. We got one builder. Okay. Nice to have you here.
So that's
Let's
it.
go.
Now go find your opposite. Start the conversation today, not tomorrow, today. And we'll see you all at 10K.
Okay.
And there'll be a
Christian faith builder. Let's
ah,
go.
Christian in here. Yeah, let's go, boys. The chat's going mental, but I have to stop now, and we're going to have to jump off. But there'll be a lot more of this coming soon. We already have the next webinar planned out, and we're ready to go. So there will be another one here, and hopefully we might have a bigger audience by then. But we can tell all you guys are the real ones. So I love to see it. Stop watching. It is a little bit late, so Spain 2-1. That's a good shout. That's a good shout, man. I reckon there's going to be crazy goals this game. 5 goal games. We'll throw an all bet on it, boys. And hopefully we'll see it play out. So stop watching. Go start doing. If you're watching the game, chill out for the night. We're out here. Let's go, boys. We'll see you all again soon. Thank you for your time.